Hello everyone and welcome back to Dark Souls 1. This is part 3 of our Curved Greatsword run. And if you remember, last time we rung both Bells of Awakening, and this time we're going to be starting off in Sen's Fortress. So, let's get right into it. Now, I was looking at the Gravelord sword, which our damage is fine, but it took a parry and then one swing to kill, so I wanted to get it a bit higher, which it requires Demon Titanite, which there are 4 Titanite demons down below, which I didn't remember until I looked down there. But I figured we already got the Rusted Iron Ring, which will take out the problem of the tar slowing us down. So the only thing we need to worry about is actually getting down there, which we can do in a bit, not right now. Right now, we can run past this guy and pick up 2 large Titanite shards. Not super useful right this second, but good for our armor when we upgrade it. And I learned last run with the fists that if you drop down here and then walk up, you can actually trigger this whole interaction without aggroing the snake person, which allows you to just sit back, relax, and get a free kill, which is nice. Very helpful. And then running up top, we don't really have a lot of defense or health, and the armor that we do have isn't very defensive, so we grab the Ring of Steel Protection. Though we already have 2 very good rings on us right now, and we have a good shield, so we're not taking too much damage, but useful for later. And then we go and grab the Slumbering Dragon Crest ring, which, especially when paired with a Ring of Fog, is very, very good. But we can't get that just yet. And then continuing on, we grab another 2 large Titanite shards. We're gonna upgrade our armor at some point, I promise. And then continuing on through, we grab the Flamestone Plate ring, which is very good because I'm pretty sure fire is the second most common damage type behind physical. And then we continue moving up. We say hi to a giant, and a 1, and a 2, and don't get kicked, and a 3, and a 4, and a 5, and don't get hit. But hey, we proc poison, and a 6, and a 7, but poison isn't really necessary because they died in 7 hits. What isn't necessary, however, is 3 souls or 3,000 souls and a Titanite chunk. Again, Titanite chunk very useful when we actually upgrade our armor. I promise we will do that at some point. Probably when I get 1 shot in the Duke's Archives. But with him dead, we can go down, grab another 2 large Titanite shards, and a soul. And then, because we can, because there's no reason not to, we can hop on over and grab ourselves a nice crossbow. And then, heading on up to Rickard, Mr. Infinite Rolly Man. I don't know why he does this, but he just rolls every time you hit him. Given enough time, we could probably kill him with our bare fist, because all he does is roll when you hit him. It's very weird. And then we decide to spend all of our souls to buy the Spellstone Plate ring, because
Go along, try and make something, but nothing.
we're going to be doing this a little differently compared to the previous runs, where we're going to be going to the Duke's Archives early. which is a little scary considering how high the damage is there, but we should be fine. And then at this point, I get the cage shortcut and come back down. And I was looking for the best way to get down there, but then the game got tired of me standing around. So it just made the decision for me. Which threw me into a bit of panic. Which, never panic in these games. Much easier said than done, but oh boy, it does not work out well. But just after lots of Estus, lots of avoiding lightning strikes, and a little bit of freaking out, we pull it back. It took a lot. It took almost all of our Estus, but we pulled it back. Now, I was gonna go for him, but first we had to move over to the Rusted Iron Ring. And I heard someone else walking, and I didn't want to fight both at the same time, because that's not gonna end well. So we went with this guy first instead. Doesn't really matter the order in which we fight them. But I was looking back just to make sure that we didn't like accidentally aggro the other one, which fighting these guys is a little weird. I don't know, they just have very strange hitboxes. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just Dark Souls 1. But no diagonal rolling mixed with their hitboxes really throws me off. But no matter how much they throw me off, in a one-on-one, we can usually take them out. Which, 2k and a Demon Titanite. That was on me. I got too aggressive there because I saw they were low. But here we're like half health with no Estus. But that's not gonna stop me, because smart decision making is not on the bucket list here. So we decide to take the other one on, but we do have to be at least somewhat smarter about how we approach this fight, since we can't afford to take any hits. But we can't afford to kill him. Another 2k and another Demon Titanite. And then with them down, we get a Soul and a Scythe. We can only use one of those though. And I wasn't really planning on fighting them, but I wanted to take a quick look at the other two, which I'm going to skip most of this, because the long and short of this was there's two of them. The one closer to us would not move closer. Like, he was yeah, he's more fond of jumping back than coming anywhere near this little hallway. So we couldn't get him to come to us, but we couldn't really go to him, because even with the Slumbering Dragon Crest ring, which makes your footsteps and attacks silent to enemies, it ended up not mattering, because the other one would always aggro. Because even though they can't hear us, getting ever so slightly too close, which is where the first one really liked to hang out. Yeah, you can see the second one moving. They just kept coming. And I played super defensive, but I still died like twice because I could never get the first one to come. So after like 2 deaths, and then nearly dying a 3rd time, I just gave up and went up the ladder. Where there's another giant who got very angry that we accepted defeat instead of smashing our head against a brick wall. Which, I mean, I appreciate that he wanted us to continue fighting, but another 3k, another Titanite chunk, that's a nice consolation prize, I guess. I mean, still useful, but a little tragic that we couldn't get those final 2 Demon Titanite. And so we dropped down, like we went back up and then dropped down. And I did some math a while ago and thought that getting 32 vitality would let us put on the robe, but apparently not. So I guess my math was a little off. But decided to do some experimenting, little tweaking, and we found that this looks really good, actually. But now we've committed ourselves to this set, and we're gonna stick to it. But the shield weighs 3, this weighs 2.5, so I decided to test this, and yeah. So we can do 2.5 but not 3. So tweaking the numbers a little bit gives us some more information. Now, every single level of endurance, at least for now, gives us 1 point in our max equip load. And if we stay in light load, which is what we're going for, we can only use a max of 25% of our max. So if we get 1 point in max, we get 0.25 points in light. And since we are 0.4, 0.5 away, that means that we're only 2 endurance levels away. So 2 more levels and we got it. And what gives us 2 levels and we can do without a shield? This boss. So take note that we are coming in with 5 Estus flasks. And I will let this fight play out. Victory achieved. Okay, good. Again, pretty easy. 40,000. Alright. So, we beat them with the Gravelord Sword +1, the Dingy Robe, the Bloodstained Skirt, the Chloranthy Ring, the Wolf Ring, and 0 sips of the Estus. We didn't even take damage. And we beat them at level 47 with 23 Vitality, 32 Endurance, 24 Strength, 13 Dex, and 11 Resistance. And I decided to rewatch all of the cutscenes, or at least some of them. Because I've been skipping them for the past few runs. And specifically this one teleports you to a different location. But unlike the Painted World of Ariamis, where you're going to like a different world, or some nonsense, you can actually see both locations, or at least you should be able to. And I think this shot with the pointy architecture and the glowing lights and the triumphant music is part of the reason why people like Anor Londo. It gives a very good impression. But I wanted to see if I could see Sen's Fortress from up here. So I decided to look around and see if I could gain a vantage point, but then I saw this. And so I went to go talk to him, but instead of getting words, I got this cutscene. Now, up until this point, I was under the presumption that once you touched the Ring of Light to go to Anor Londo, you couldn't come back until you got the Lord Vessel. So, knowing that now is very nice. That's why it's important to, like, slow down and look at things, even multiple runs in, because you can always learn more. And I thought those were, like, skulls or something, but no, they're, like, stone statues of gargoyles. Which, that's neat. Thankfully, they don't come alive to try to kill us. Because you never know. No. Thank you. And I was still a little annoyed by the fact that we couldn't kill the 2 final Demon Titanite, so I took it out on these guys. And then because it was there... Oh. Huh. I forgot about this. Thank you. So, I had actually forgotten about these because Demon Titanite were never useful in any of the previous runs. And so, I didn't see it as important information to keep in mind. But I wonder how many there are in Anor Londo. So I decided to really slow this down and go through all the chests. But, like I said, we were only 2 levels away, so we put them in here. And we put our shield back on, and boom. We can now light roll with the sword, the shield, and the chest piece and the pants. Which is going to add a lot to the look. No more bareback for us. And I still want to add the hood and the gloves. But we can't yet. No, I don't think we can add either piece. Nope. But still, this is progress. And it's probably the last big leap we're gonna take. Now at this point, our endurance was 11 points higher than our vitality, so I decided to close that gap a tiny bit more before trying to finish out being able to wear the set. And then we continued on to see if we could find any more Demon Titanite. And then, after going down the elevator, we took out the gargoyle. And I remember there's a chest back here. And I didn't remember if it was a Dragonstone, a Demon Titanite, or a Twinkling Titanite. But, shut up. But I thought it might be a Demon Titanite. And I was correct. And even if it wasn't, it was worth giving it a look anyways. Because, shut up. Because it would only take like 10 seconds, but that's very good. More progress. Which, I decided to look at how many we had, and we had 4, and we had already used 1 for 1 upgrade, which means we had essentially 5 total, and we needed 10, so if there were 5 more, we could fully upgrade it, and you can get out of here. And here, I decided to attack, and got hit, and they took a small chunk of our health. More than I had hoped they would take, but less than I had expected. So, not the best, but not the worst. It would have been better if I'd upgraded my armor. Again, I promise I will do that at some point. Probably once I get one shot in Duke's Archives. That's definitely not foreshadowing. And hey, you... I don't know why they keep doing that. I don't know why they keep killing themselves. It's weird, but... they do them, I guess. And you can get out of here, Mr. Chandelier. But, going up, we... oh, hello. If we used a slash attack, our weapon would have just bounced off, so... the thrusting attack adds a lot of variety. Oh, well, I was hoping for a demon Titanite, but oh well. But it just adds so much versatility to the weapon that you take the wins where you can. And going up here, this happened. There are no words to describe that. None that I know. I feel like once you get to the point where you're rubbing yourself up against the enemy, they should probably put away the ranged weapon and pull out a sword, but whatever. Now, thankfully this guy was willing to just stand there and... yeah, you can't even call that a stun lock. He didn't get stun locked, but... soul of a hero. Not a demon Titanite, and probably not worth it in normal runs, but we got it, so we'll take it. Oh, Solaire. It's always a treat to see Solaire. But off we go in search of more demon Titanite. Ooh. And I thought there was one down here with Howls. Ah, we got too aggressive. Lautrec was right. Hey, I remembered his name. I'll probably forget it in 5 minutes, but I thought I remembered one being down here with Hovel's set, but I suppose I had thought wrong. But then coming back up, I heard the breathing of that thing, the Titanite demon, up on like the 2nd floor, or 1.5 floor, whatever you want to call it. So that's probably where I got that idea. But coming through in the room with the 3 Silver Knights, after taking a bit of a beating, we get 2 more. Very, very nice. Good progress. And then we decided to come in here and take out this guy. Which, he's gonna jump attack. He's gonna jump attack. Yup. I recorded the gameplay. Like, he's gonna jump attack. Yep. I recorded the gameplay like a week ago. And I recorded a bit more after. So, like, compared to when I'm doing the voiceover now, and, oh, that's half my health. So, I had actually forgotten a lot of the, like, details and stuff. But if you get behind these guys, and they slowly turn around instead of doing an attack, they pretty much always just slowly turn around and then do a jump attack. So they're very, very predictable in that. He's gonna do a jump attack. Yep. The jump attack is very scary because its hitbox is way, way bigger than the weapon. And also, sometimes he moves forward. Sometimes he moves forward a lot. And sometimes he just doesn't. It's kind of weird. And it's kind of... like, I haven't figured out a way to tell, and... Sir, please, I am stuck in a corner. Thank you. And... nope. I think that's a grab attack, which grab attacks do a lot of damage in general. So, we don't want that. But we take him out, we get 5k, and another 2 Demon Titanite. Which is very nice. Which, at this point, we have 8. We already used 1, so 9. So we only need 1 more. But I don't think we're going to get it, because we're basically at the end of the area. But, oh well. I know where to get a few others, so it's fine. And... no, I don't know why these guys attack us. Like, they brought us up, but... ooh, Titanite chunk. Very nice. And here I was looking at the upgrades, which... 9, 1, then 7, 8, 9, so that's 29 damage. On paper. For this one upgrade. I'm sorry if doing that is weird for you, but 1, 2, 3, 4, or 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so this would be 28 damage. I calculate how these go in a very weird way, so I'm sorry, but 4, 5, 6, 6, 1, that's 7, 8, 9, 10, so that's 30 damage. So that's 29, 28, 30. So that's like 87 damage on paper. And we don't have the souls for another one. And we're missing 1 Demon Titanite. But again, I know where to get a few, so we can get it later. And you feel the black eye orb quivering. I feel my lack of Estus quivering. I'm gonna die soon. So, I'm not gonna deal with him yet. I'm not gonna deal with him with 1 Estus. I gotta get out of here first. And we decided to come down here because we wanted to do the Painted World of Ariamis first. Which... I mean, I appreciate the attempt to go get back up. Because... I don't know about you, that was some very strong tracking. But if I was in a room full of people and then someone with a curved greatsword came in, I mean, strength in numbers, I'd probably go get back up too. Yeah, see, they know what they're doing. But, guess they gave up. Guess they thought a 2-on-1 would be good. But, the thrust attack is so good. It had so much versatility. It gives you range. It gives you a no slash to bounce off walls. It's very nice. But here I decided to try something. Because I was wearing the Slumbering Dragon Crest ring, which apparently, like, it says that it masks all sound, but you can clearly hear your weapon, like, hitting the ground. So, I was looking at this going... but it says where it produces no sound whatsoever. But when we attack, we can hear it, but I guess the enemies can't. Which, at the very least, in Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring, the enemies can hear those attacks. Because I've tried that as well, but not here. Which makes the Dark Souls 1 version of the ring the most powerful, I suppose. And the most apt in its description. Because even though we can hear it, no one else can, apparently. Which... That fits with how I see the rings in Dark Souls 1. They tend to be a bit more powerful in what they do. Now, if you've watched the previous runs, you might be a little confused about me doing the Painted World of Ariamis now, considering, like, PTSD from the 15-minute fight with Priscilla. But there's a very simple reason why I'm doing it now here, and that's the weapon class. You see, that fight went on for 15 minutes because Priscilla refused to become visible. And how do you make Priscilla visible? With poise damage, which piercing swords have garbage poise damage, but curved greatswords have very good poise damage. So, it's not about damage or anything like that, it's about poise damage. And going into the future, the only weapon classes we have left that have low poise damage to the point where I'm worried about it are daggers and spears. Everything else is gonna be good. So, I figured might as well get this done now while it's still somewhat fair. Somewhat. And something weird I found out about these guys, which I didn't fully do it here, but at least with this weapon class, if you delay your attacks, you can essentially stun lock them. But, you know what else is weirder? This enemy. You see, in this state, they're invincible. Don't believe me? Watch me throw a throwing knife at them and have it go directly through them while I was locked on. Don't know why. It's very weird, it's very strange, but whatever. And I forgot the golden rule of Dark Souls, which is it's a Dark Souls. Take it slow. So, forgetting that got us killed. Yep. Which, the jump to get there is very weird and janky. Or I just haven't figured out how to do it. Either way. So, it'll take another 8,000 tries to get back up there. Unless we find the annex key, which I forgot where it was. But don't know why people complain about Blighttown. Because like I always hear, the toxic enemies. Oh, the toxic enemies are so bad. But like this area also has toxic enemies, and it has more of them. And also the ones here respawn. But also the ones here kill themselves, so what do I know? But decided to sit back, take it slow, use the stun lock method. Because, yeah. If your weapon stuns them in a single hit, just hit them, let them go through their stagger animation. And then once they recover, hit them again, let them recover, hit them again, let them recover, hit them again. I don't know why it works, but it does. Whereas, like, spamming doesn't work. But here, I tried to get, like, one of them to come down, but nope. Getting one makes you get two. So I decided to run back, and it decided to jump into the death pit, which is one way to separate them, I guess. But the other one felt as though there was strength in numbers and wanted to reunite. Which, I mean, hey, I'll take it. You take the wins where you can get them, even if it's by gravity. So... And, I mean, I've legitimately never heard a bad thing about this area. Even though, on top of having respawning toxic enemies, it also has a bunch of bone wheel skeletons in a very tight, dark area with these very small corridors, which, personal opinion, that's even worse than the toxic enemies. But, nah, whatever. Just very strange to me. But we got the annex key, so... And I want you to watch this and tell me if you know what happened here. Could you decipher that? Because... I didn't move my camera at all there. I wasn't even touching the analog stick. My thumb was not on the analog stick. That was all just automatic. The game did that by itself. So I don't know what happened there. But I do know what happened here. I killed the undead dragon. And moving on, we get the blood shield. Which I want to use at some point. Because it looks cool. And then doing a jumping attack here gets them on their feet for some reason. Don't know why. It's very weird. But we can skip those enemies and move on. All the way up to Priscilla. Now keep in mind that I'm coming in with 2 Estus flasks. And I'll let this play itself out.
Who art thou? One of us thou art not. If thou hast misstepped into this world, plunge down from the plank and hurry home. If thou seekest I, thine desires shall be requited not. I expected as much from thee. Why doth...
Which, at this point, she was visible and 1 HP. Or 1 hit from death. Which, I never get that. I hardly get to see Priscilla. Which, the visual component of a boss is pretty cool, so... Alrighty then. I just had to open my mouth. I actually forgot that happened.
But why?
But,
What's
whatever.
it?
Victory achieved. We beat him first try. So... But hey, 30k. I feel like I would enjoy them more as a boss if you didn't need to do as much poise damage, or if they got to a certain health point, they would become visible anyways. Like 70% or something like that. But anyways, we beat him with the Gravelord Sword +4, the Crest Shield +2, even though we didn't really use it, the Dingy Robe, the Bloodstained Skirt, the Slumbering Dragon Crest Ring, which I forgot to take off, and the Wolf Ring, and 0 sips of the Estus, because we came in with 2. And we beat them at level 55 with 29 Vitality, 34 Endurance, 24 Strength, 13 Dex, and 11 Resistance. And we beat them first try. So, with that, I decided to leave and watch the cutscene. Because I'm not sure how jumping off a giant cliff, whatever we're standing on, I'm not sure how that gets you out of a painting. But, alright. Video game logic, I suppose. And kind of glad the game gives you a homeward bone, because I did not want to fight my way out of this. So, off we go. And I was looking at the shield, and we go from 59 to 66 stability. So that's an extra 7 stability for our shield. And also now it's fully upgraded. And I wanted to go fight Lautrec with a bow. Like, sit back and shoot him from range. The only problem with that is we have a bow, a great bow, and a crossbow. And all of them take more dex than we have. Which, the closest one that we can get to is the longbow, which requires 14, and we have 13, so guess we better go and level up dexterity by 1 whole point. Oof. Every run has to have one thing like this. So, we decided to invade Lautrec. And I was missing a chunk of health, but I figured invading would give me that back, because I know it does in the later games. But it did not. And also, I had 10 Estus Flasks in the later games. Invading cuts your Estus in half. So, you'd think that it'd give me 5, but nope. It gave me 2. Which, wow. The fact that it didn't give me my health and cut me down from 10 to 2 was a big oof. But I figured, hey, I can just shoot him. Either he'll stand there and take it, or he'll run at me alone, but nope. Ran at me with all 3. So,
Well,
I decided
I thought you were
I'm not gonna... I'm not, by the way. No. You were incorrect, Goldie. But I decided just to parry him because the game's sending me in from 10 to 2 and also not giving me full health, at least for the invasion. That kind of screwed me over. So, I'm not gonna fight a 1v3 like this. And besides, NPC invaders, pretty predictable in terms of, like, when you can parry them. So, went with that. Easy 2-shot. And, I mean, outside of Gwyn, they're easy to parry. Maybe that's just a me thing. Maybe I just haven't done Gwyn enough in terms of, like, trying to parry him, but hey, we got Anastasia's soul and 5 humanity. That's pretty good. Especially since we're opening the shortcut later. But around here is when I noticed that it sent me down from 10 to 5 coming back. But I guess I'll go in with 5. But that's just stupid. But whatever. I'm coming in with 5, so take note of that. And I will let this cutscene and then fight play out. That should have hit me. That should not have hit me. Losing all of my Estus in round 1 was not good. But still winnable as long as I play this round 2 flawlessly and never get hit. I mean, in a one-on-one, that's a lot more doable. Right? Right? Right. So, victory, definitely not the best phase 1, but very good phase 2. Didn't get hit that time. And 50,000, which, since we killed Lautrec, since we killed Mr. Goldie, his set is over here, which, like I said, using a different set each run, and I don't have him planned to kill Anastasia in any of the future runs, so I don't have that set like locked in for any future runs, meaning I could use it here, but I don't know yet. But we beat him with the Grey Lord Sword +4, the Crest Shield +5, even though we hardly used it, the Dingy Robe, the Bloodstained Skirt, the Slumbering Dragon Crest Ring, the Wolf Ring, and 5 sips of the Estus Flask +1. We beat them at level 58 with 30 Vitality, 35 Endurance, 24 Strength, 14 Dexterity, and 11 Resistance. And we beat them first try. Which, considering how round 1 went, kind of surprising, but hey. And here, I just decided to look at the descriptions, which Ash Maiden is a very cool description, but soul of a long-lost firekeeper. Each firekeeper is a corporeal manifestation of her bonfire and a draw for the humanity which is offered to her. Her soul is gnawed by infinite humanity and can boost the power of precious Estus flasks, and then it goes on to describe what it does, which, and then here, soul of the Ash Maiden, firekeeper of Firelink Shrine. A firekeeper's soul is a soul, or is a draw for humanity, and held within their bosoms, below just a thin layer of skin, are swarms of humanity that writhe and squirm. Was the Ash Maiden locked in this dark prison for some transgression, or by her own will? Which, neat description change. Kind of weird that it's a consumable, though, and not in key items, but thank you for the Lord Vessel. Still don't like you. And here I remembered I'm in the Fair Lady's cult, covenant, whatever you want to call it. And I was considering killing Guinevere here to go straight after Gwendolyn, but I decided against it because I want the Anor Londo bonfire still. And I saw that we could get 3 levels, but I really wanted to get the rest of the set. At least the hood, because the hood would be nice. So I put 3 levels into endurance, because we haven't really been dying yet, so we don't really need vitality just yet. Which just can't wear even a lighter pair of gloves, so now the gloves are 1.2 in weight, so the hood weighs 0.8, gloves are 0.4 more, so we can do 0.8 but not 1.2. For both of them we need 2. So we can do at max like 1. So still a few levels away. And here I was just looking at what the gloves actually look like, which I borderline didn't notice a difference. But you do notice a difference with the hood, so we will take what we can get. Progress is progress after all. And once we got back here, I was thinking, we got some pretty good progress today. I mean, we started off in Sen's Fortress, got through all of Sen's Fortress, went to the Painted World of Ariamis, got through all of the Painted World of Ariamis, got through all of Anor Londo, got ourselves the Lord Vessel, killed Goldie, so now we can get Anastasia back. We can get Firelink Shrine back.
Thank you. I am Anastasia of Astora. Now I can continue my duty as a keeper. But I only hope that my impure tongue does not offend.
And we got this way back at Blighttown, so we decided to cash that in.
Forgive me. I am impure. My tongue never intended for restoration. Please, if you have any heart, leave me be. I wish not to speak.
Understandable, relatable, respectable. We can leave him at that. And we decide to go back up, admire the fact that we now have our bonfire back, and Siegmeyer's hanging out. And I was thinking, even just in our kit, we've made decent progress, because we started this out only having the skirt, and now we have the robe and the hood. I mean, we're only the gloves away, and the gloves are very small, you hardly notice them. So we're pretty much complete. And I thought this was a really good place to end it. But I was gonna go over to feed some stuff to Mr. Flesh Mustache, which he's growing on me because he's very useful, but something about the flesh mustache and also the eyes just off-puts me. But let me know. Do you like him? Do you like him? Do you hate him? And his long neck? Let me know in the comments. But, yeah.